Hi. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Oh, hi. I'm Marc. I used to be a senior artist at Blizzard Entertainment, and now I teach art for a living. And I may or may not be in my office. In this episode of my Oscar-winning weekly series that I've been calling YouTube Art School, I'm going to tell you 8 very important things that I wish somebody told me when I was a younger artist. I made a lot of mistakes and wasted a lot of time along the way because I didn't have anybody to let me know ahead of time. So try applying some of the stuff that I'm about to go over. I wish I did. I'm old and wise now, and also bald. So pay attention, kid. Quickly, class is starting. Alright, class is in session. Pay attention. Time for some life advice if you choose the life path of an artist. Today, I want to reflect on the past and hopefully provide a few tips that I wish I heard back when I was a younger artist. When I was starting out, nobody had really been a digital artist all their life. Digital art was still pretty new, so I had to fumble my way into my career, making a lot of mistakes and wasting a lot of time along the way. Mistakes that I hope you'll be able to avoid with these pieces of advice and warnings. Most of our screw-ups happen in our late teens and 20s, so being 35 now, I think I'm able to reflect back on a lot of experience, and not only mine, but the experiences of my peers in the industry and my own students. I really hope that you get some value out of these, and let me know if any of this resonates with you down below. As I go through the list, I'll let this time-lapse of my latest drawing play in the background, so even if the advices don't help, you'll have some art to check out. Everybody wins. Let's sketch right into it. They're not in order of importance, but they are more or less in order in which I encountered them in my own experience. Advice number 1. Be very careful how you react to people telling you how talented you are. Early in life, if you're anything like me, aka you loved art, you probably drew a lot. When you do a lot of something, you tend to get good at it, or at least better than the average. That's how skills work, which might make some of your friends or some adults around you tell you how talented you are. Obviously, if you listen to a word I just said, it's probably not talents that you have. It's much more likely simple interest in art that resulted in extra practice. As a young person though, hearing others compliment how talented you are is almost inevitably going to get to your head. It certainly did to me. You grow up thinking that it's in your blood, and eventually you'll likely end up practicing less, thinking that talented people just get it naturally. That it's more of a superpower that you have and others don't. Don't kid yourself. You're not special. The best thing that you can do is think of those people calling you talented as insulting towards your hard work. Don't ever let it get to your head, or those other so-called not talented people will pass you by as a result of their continued hard work, and you'll be left realizing much later in life that talent was just not a thing, and now you have a lot of catching up to do. Oh man. Number 2. Some people will discourage you, ignore them. So on the other side of the spectrum, you might instead be facing some resistance to your pursuit of the arts. Thankfully, my parents were mostly supportive, but they certainly didn't believe that I could make a living doing art. So I had to go and first study science in college instead of focusing on my art like I wish I could have done from the start, losing me a few years of dedicated art studies. For some of you though, your friends and family might actually be completely against the idea. You might also get negative comments online from people that you don't know, all discouraging you from pursuing art. Don't listen to ignorant people. The art industry is full of money waiting for you to grab it. And it's a growing industry. For most of my career working at Blizzard, I made a bigger salary than most doctors make. And since I've left, I've been even better off. And I am no exception. You might have to take detours and work on your art on the side until you get good enough to earn money and actually prove them wrong if you can't legally live on your own, but still persevere. Don't let others dictate your own future. When you're older and these other people, your parents, are out of your life, trust me, the last thing that you want is regretting not following your passion. Having a passion in life is incredibly rare, and it just happens that this passion can pay the bills and more. Listen to people who know what they're talking about. Listen to me. You can do this. You got this. Advice number 3, or more, warning number 3, is another piece of nonsense that you might have heard from your parents. I know I sure did, and it is that you need a degree to work as an artist, that you need to go to college or university like everybody else and get a formal education. Not if you're planning to be an artist. I learned this while I was wasting my time studying science. When I started making money coloring comic books, good money for a kid, for sure, and it just kept getting better from there. It quickly became very clear that to make money doing art, all you gotta do is just get good at doing art. That's it. In the vast majority of cases, you'll just end up wasting your time and money for a piece of paper, the degree, that's not worth any more than the toilet paper that you wipe your butt with. Over 85% of all working artists in the US, not talking about other countries, I don't know about that, but over 85% of all working artists in the US that live off their art alone don't have a degree. If my math is right, that's a majority. What matters then? Your portfolio. Your portfolio alone. Maybe your personality too if you ever plan to work in a team. But primarily, work on putting together the best portfolio. Seek to learn the skills that will allow you to do that. If you're watching this, you're off to a good start. There are plenty of resources online now. It's almost a crime to still go to a traditional art school despite all this. If you're curious how I made my way into the art industry, you can check out my career path video here in the top right corner of the screen or down in the description below. Or not. Do whatever you want. Now, the next advice might be more of a general life advice, but it still definitely applies to artists. Everything that you do now will either make things easier or harder for future you. Might seem obvious, but if you choose the easy path when you're younger, if you just play a ton of games or waste time on your phone making TikTok videos, that's all time that future you will have to catch up on when you're older and have all new life responsibilities that you're not thinking about right now. Study now. Practice now. Don't procrastinate too much. If your late teens and 20s are easy, your 30s and beyond will be hard. Set yourself up for success in the future. Take the harder path now. I'm not saying just completely put aside anything fun, of course, but be very mindful of how you spend your time. Be mature about it. Always invest some time towards your future. You can't take that time back. If that's still too abstract, keep in mind that you, just 2 or 3 or 4 years in the future, will be a completely different person. And that's not that far in the future. And that person will be forced by the decisions that you make today. Don't screw over future you. Set that person up for success. Oh, we're already at the halfway point. The next advice. Recently, I made a few videos more focused on psychology, and this next advice is somewhat related to that. Take good care of yourself if you want to be doing art long term. Just like an athlete, if you get injured in college, that could mean the end of your future professional career. In art, just the same, if you burn out, that could mean the end of your future as an artist. I say if you burn out, but it's almost guaranteed that you will, just like me. Just make sure that your burnouts, just like a sports injury, are not major career-ending ones. To soften the blow, stay in good physical shape. Take on good habits like not working too intensely for long stretches of time without taking breaks. Rest your hands and eyes often while making art. Take on different hobbies. See other people. If you're in poor health, so will your long-term career. Make changes now, if you need to. The sixth advice, and we're almost done. Don't compare yourself to others. It's so easy to portray a fake persona online. Everybody does it. I'm sure you've looked up to and envied, or maybe even despised others for their apparent successes. It doesn't matter who you look up to as an artist. You can bet your pants that they went through or are still going through their solid share of hardships. If you think everything is hard and everybody else seems to be doing great, they're not. We're all very much alike. We all have our struggles. Might be family related, might be physical health, mental health like depression, serious financial troubles like I personally had in recent years until it finally got better. Nothing is as it seems from the outside. You're not alone in your struggles. If anything, the more someone tries to show how well they're doing, often those are the people doing the worst. The seventh tip will be a quick one. Don't measure your successes and your worth as an artist based on your stats on social media. Don't do it. Stop it. Or at least not until you reach around 10,000 followers or subscribers. Everything before that is just mostly influenced by luck and cannot and should not be used to gauge your worth as an artist. After 10K though, only use the data to inform yourself on how your tastes line up with that of the public. That's really all it's good for. At that point, you'll technically be more skilled than 99% of the people who follow you, so don't let people pull your strings too much. Under 10K, you could have a post that does twice as good as usual, but that might just be the result of a more prominent account resharing it and bringing in a lot of new traffic. Maybe the post before that would have done even better if that was the one that got reshared. When you have a sizable audience though, the luck factor isn't nearly as significant relative to the total number of likes that you would typically get. So the data is much more useful, but again, only to see how well your tastes line up with that of others. Finally, the last piece of advice. everybody that you grew up with as an artist, all your peers if you did go to school, all the members of the forums you visit, or members of the Discord server that you hang out on, everybody will give up at some point. Well, almost everybody. Be the one who doesn't give up. There's no sprint in art. It's a marathon you gotta pace yourself for. Instead of trying to get better than others, aim to outlast them. Be the last one standing. And be sure to be back for next week's class because today's class is over. Smash that subscribe button to catch future classes and hit the notification bell.
Welcome back.